plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
It doesn't even enter my consciousness.
Marty Supreme is basically a hero journey, a writing archetype of a character that takes on the adventure that changes him and leads to some grand life-changing finale. But what makes it more interesting is that Marty lacks any heroic traits, and unless you understand his motivation, desire or urgency to become the best no matter the cost, thus you at least slightly admire his determination, then all you see is the self-centered, narcissistic prick that feels superior to everyone around. But it's one of those qualities of an athlete that you hate when they don't walk the talk and love when they do. And although the audience will judge him mostly outside of ping pong tournaments, because while it is a movie about a ping pong player, ping pong here is merely a board for the whole journey that takes on. It's beside the ping pong table where we see a true Marty, both with defenses and shields. And the question that I was asking myself throughout the whole movie was, does he love the game or rather love being good at it? He at one point says to a pregnant woman that he has a great purpose while she lacks it, sliding away through life. And while knowing the context makes this statement seems less cruel, it feels sometimes that ping pong for him is a way to become someone, escape mundane life of shoe-sideless person, and prove to himself that he was right all along about himself. But what makes his character interesting, at least in my writer's eye, is that he's mostly reactive rather than proactive. At the beginning of the movie, he is the main character that he often portrays himself as. A great ping pong player, capable young man who doesn't need anyone to succeed, and someone with huge self-belief. But as soon as he returns to New York, after 8 months or so of different ping pong related shows to earn money, everything seems to fall apart and all decisions that he made till this point start to catch up. And from this point his story becomes a chaotic mess. He constantly reacts to things, constantly tries to find ways to earn more money, only to fall into bigger problems with everything that he does. And suddenly, he finds himself at the edge of somebody else's wheel. The guy with a dog, Rockwell, Kay. He knows he is wasting time, that he should be practicing, but without the money he won't go to Japan, and everything will be for nothing. He's lucky to have people that care about him and, despite his words that he doesn't need anyone, try to help him achieve that dream. Both Rachel and Wally are, as a result, falling into the same pit of consequences that hit him. And I believe he cared about them too. He was just too focused on his dream, which became all that he was. Everything changes once again when he gets to Japan to play a fixed game with Endo that he is supposed to lose, and after actually losing it, he takes the proactive role again, and by doing so, he rejects a lot of money and a certain way to come back home, just to have a chance to beat a champion. This is his dream, his desire of greatness that is driven by ego like most athletes who want to win, because since the sport is an objective play, there is a clear winner and loser. And Marty wants to win. He already knows that he's not assigned to a tournament, so he knows he has to try, so he challenges Endo and wins. But what makes the ending of this movie so good is the ambiguity of it. Because we, as the audience, don't know if he tried to influence the organizer to let him play. We can only speculate that he didn't. But we know for sure he came back to New York, where he finally accepted his role as a father of Rachel's daughter, fulfilling his hero journey, coming back to the same place, but with different ending. I watched an interview with Timothée Chalamet, who, I have to say this, is a marketing genius, that sent something that put a smirk on my face. He described this movie as being an idiot in your early 20s. And it's basically a perfect summary. Marty has no backup plans, constantly makes himself enemies, takes all the wrong decisions, doesn't appreciate people around him, and rejects certain money for a chance to beat a champion. He is, by all definition, an idiot. But he's also an athlete that loses 10 games and tries to win that 11th, like it was the first. And that perseverance, determination and delusional belief is something that is justifiable for a young adult, and perhaps he would be an even bigger idiot if he didn't try in the end.
Original guy, it's the Marty Supreme one, not the Marty normal bull.
And I believe, or I choose to believe, that if it was me to choose between money and possibly the last chance to achieve my dream and be table tennis champion, I would choose the latter every single time.